Hello friends I made this for. My name is Lauren, and if you've never been here before, hi, hello, welcome. I like to talk about astrology, tarot, toxic spirituality, witchcraft, and everything in between. I am a witch type person, tarot reader, Reiki practitioner, artist, and art teacher here in right outside of Philadelphia, PA. And today is the day after our longest night. The winter solstice was yesterday. And tomorrow is the dark moon in Capricorn. We have begun Capricorn season. As a Capricorn myself, that is big fucking news. The sun is in my sign and I am feeling it. I also have quite a bit of my planets in Capricorn, so it hits different. It hits different. Makeup is kind of running. All right. All right, we're moving, we're grooving. All right, that's good enough. This is my first day of winter break. I love my kids, but I also love a little bit of time to myself. So if you are on winter break, or maybe you're not, go ahead and leave me a message down below. How was your solstice yesterday? Did you do any ritual? I actually just relaxed. I think I had intentions of doing stuff. I did some work for my podcast after school, but teachers is tired. So please be nice to us. Anywho, with the dark moon happening tomorrow, here are some things I want you to think about. Of course, if you're interested in looking more into Capricorn season, just in general, I did make a video not that long ago about Capricorn and the devil. I'll try and link that at the end of the show notes, because that can be helpful if you're trying to have some visual aid, some visual tool to connect to. Which is what I'm all about here. I'm a visual person my fucking self, so here we go. And as always, if you want to connect with me more, my link tree is down below. Like I mentioned, I have a podcast, the Subnormal Podcast, and the newest episode is coming out tomorrow with the dark moon, my last episode of the year, and it's just so delicious. It's a good one. I interview artists and creatives from all over and talk to them about art and spirituality. But anyway, I'm getting off track. It's been 3 minutes and you're here for some reading. Yeah. So with Capricorn season here, with the dark moon in Capricorn, we're really doubling down on that energy of creating structures, of creating the containers through which we can grow and really move forward through this dark time of the year. Capricorn is our initiator of the dark time of the year. And so this sign really reminds us of the perseverance that's needed to get through these shadows of our seasons. Nothing is constant, but the one thing that we can take away from all of this is that our perseverance, our way of interacting in this world is really what it comes down to. How we show up is the true power, and that doesn't have to look like anything in particular. How we show up in the world can take so many forms. It can be how we take care of ourselves, how we take care of others. In my latest episode, my amazing guest mentions how self-care, caring for yourself, is an act of love for everyone, and that can extend to our communities. So don't forget, when we get into this boss babe time of the season, as some people like to think of it as, that doesn't have to be like, yes, get all of that work done, babe, you're doing so good. Like, sometimes the big work is knowing how to care for ourselves so that we can continue showing up for our our families, our friends, our communities. We cannot always be blooming. We cannot always be the ones taking care of everyone else. Sometimes we're going to have to slow down so that we can continue forward. So with that, how can we slow down to continue forward? How can we slow down to continue forward? The world. So the world is a very expansive and open card. This is the card that comes to us at the end of the major arcana. And so what that kind of represents is that this is the completion of something. So how can we slow down and just kind of take care of ourselves in this time as we're transitioning through this, the dark moon of the dark season, when we are in the cold, when we are in this place of conserving while still persevering through that darkness, right? And it's not necessarily a bad darkness, it's just simply the season. So slowing down and observing what you have accomplished and allowing yourself to actually do that. I know so many people, myself included sometimes, where we keep working and working and we keep going. I gotta keep going. There's more to do. There's more to do. And that is so valid. There's always something to do, right? But there's also always reason to just slow down. Yesterday being my first day off of suddenly on break, I made an effort to go, I'm relaxing. I'm drinking some wine. I'm watching a movie with my husband, and I'm going to just slow down. Today, I'll do some journaling and do that work. But for me in that moment, even though it was the winter solstice and maybe a good time to do ritual, it felt really nice just to slow down and go, yeah, I got through my first half of the school year after taking a year off. I've accomplished something, and I deserve to slow down and listen to my body. So with the world, take a second to just expand in silence. Take a moment to just expand, knowing you have done things, that you don't have to keep pushing. And in fact, if we just keep pushing, we're not going to actually have any time to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And of course, that looks different for everybody. Don't compare your expression of that to anybody else's. Allow yourself to take up space in rest. Take up space in acknowledgement. Take up space by saying, you know what? I did all of this. I deserve one day. I deserve 1 hour. I deserve 1 minute in the shower by myself, feeling relieved, good, and rejuvenated. So that is a gift from this dark moon, is to just take a moment with this dark moon coming up and observe. With the dark moon, it is a great time to plant seeds. So as we take that rest and that recalibrating, we're taking stock. What kind of seeds are we planting in this dark moon? What sort of collective seeds? Of course, I forgot to mention that. This is a collective reading for all. What sort of things are we planting for this season? Ah, yes, swords. Now, as I always like to share, there are no good or bad cards in tarot. There are simply experiences that we go through. So what seeds are we planting? Well, this is a card that definitely resonates a lot with self-doubt. And I'm not saying we are planting seeds of self-doubt, but here's what we're not doing. We are not going to overwhelm ourselves in our mind this season. One of the seeds we are planting in this dark moon is the shovel, the hatchet, the tools that don't serve us. Maybe the thought patterns that keep us contained in a way that is not honoring our spirits, our accomplishments, or the things we want to continue striving for. Limiting beliefs are out of season. But what does that mean? Well, when we look at this card, we can see a few things. We see that there are all these swords, and it might feel like the walls are closing in, but there's a clear path ahead. And there is the ability to get out of this. This person is wrapped up, but it looks like they could shimmy out of it. They could walk through. There is the need to trust. And we do see water at the feet of this person. So that comes back to us as, how is our subconscious kind of getting ahead of us? When we see swords, it's often a conversation about how do the patterns of the mind unfortunately stop us from continuing forward? How are we kind of cutting ourselves short before we even get started? So with this card, what are we planting? We're planting different structures. We're planting ways of moving through the self-doubt, and we are planting the seeds of our own liberation. Don't forget that you are powerful. You do not have to get wrapped up in others' ideas of what your life needs to look like, and you most certainly do not have to play it small in order to make others feel good. You are not trapped in your circumstances. And that might be a thing of privilege for me to say, and I want to acknowledge that. But that still means you have the ability to make even incremental changes. Yes, systemic problems and systemic harm is still real, and it might very well be affecting you. But do not let that be where it ends. Please continue pushing, even in the smallest ways. And the invitation here is to do that for this dark moon. Planting those tiny seeds of intention can grow something much bigger. It's much like strengthening a muscle that perhaps we don't have connection with. And I say that knowing that it's not easy. Our mind can be very cruel and sometimes very mean to us. So don't forget that you do have the power to make small changes that bring you joy. And those are the seeds we want to plant. Let's do one last card, a medicine card for how to access that. What collectively is a card that we can look at and go, yes, this is possible. This is the reminder of how. This is the card to remind us when we are feeling the walls close in. Three of Pentacles. Community, relationship, reflection, and doing all of that with those who are part of your chosen family or real family. But who do you stand with? Who emboldens you, empowers you, and gives you advice forward? These people are our teachers. They are not just friends or family, but they are co-architects of our life, co-creators of the reality we live in. Remember to reach out to those that you trust, those that you find as supportive community that continue to push you so that you can create the structures that you want to see in your world, in the future, in your whole fucking life. Three of Pentacles is all about working together, a union of sorts to create the beautiful structures that we see. This is also a card that is ruled by Capricorn. It's in the first 3 of the major arcana, or well, first 4. And those are related to Capricorn because of the, not major arcana, but you know what this is. The suits, right? So because Capricorn is our cardinal energy, she's just going to scream. I'm almost done here. Our cardinal energy, we connect Capricorn to the first few cards minus the aces as being our cardinal cards. She's trying to make a liar out of me. So here's what I'm seeing. Remember to take up space, to slow down and take the deep breath this dark moon. To just notice, maybe even write out what you have accomplished. These are some dark moon ritual ideas or journaling ideas, so that you can really just acknowledge what you've done this year. I'm not even saying this whole year, maybe just this month, maybe just this time leading up, or you could write down this year, all the things you've accomplished, because Jesus Christ, because you deserve it. Especially when these limiting beliefs are coming up, when you're starting to feel closed in or thinking that I didn't do enough, I should have done more. Those thoughts will get in your way and keep you from continuing to grow and change. So when you're starting to feel that contraction, when you should be embracing some expansion, remember who you can call on. Your community is here to support you, and vice versa. So don't forget those things in this dark moon. Perhaps even write a letter to a friend, a message to those that you love, even if it's just a text message, to let them know how grateful and thankful you are of them. Because that's what's going to keep us moving and grooving. We do not live in a vacuum. We are all helped and supported by those that we love and cherish. Kitty! Including my cat. So don't forget those things. Remember to take a moment to take a deep breath. If you start to question yourself and the validity of what you've accomplished, don't forget you can reach out to friends and you can hype yourself up. You can ask for help, or you can just say, hey, am I being a shitty person this year? And get some feedback. Maybe that's not the best thing to do. I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts, my reflections, and my reading for this dark moon. How are you reflecting on these cards? What does this pull resonate for you? Is there one of these cards that you kind of feel like, yuck, this is definitely not what I'm feeling for Capricorn season or this Capricorn dark moon? Let me know down below. And of course, until next time, my friends, please make sure to take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Reach out to those if you need it. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.